Hi, fifth grade. So we're going to be starting Module 3, Lesson 3 today. So we're going to be working on fractions and adding fractions that do not have common denominators. So to review from yesterday's lesson, I'm going to start with problem 1. So make sure you're following along with me as I'm going through this. We're going to start with the problem 1/2 plus 1/4. Now, when I look at these fractions, I know I need to add them because I have the addition symbol right there, but I can't add them just yet because I do not have common denominators. So my bottom number in my fraction, this number and this number, I can't add them just yet because they are not the same. So I have 2 here and a 4 here. So what I'm going to do is with pictures, I'm going to show you how to make those common denominators and then show you what those would be once I finally can add them up. So I'm going to first start with a box for 1/2. So draw my box for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this box in half because I know that I need to cut this into 2 parts because I have this right here. So I now have 2 parts, and I need to shade in 1 unit from my whole box. So this box right here shows me 1/2. Now for my other box, I'm going to draw a box to show me what 1/4 would look like. So again, I'll draw a box. Except in this time with 1/4, I'm going to shade in on this side instead. So if I have 1/4, that means that this box is being cut into 4 parts. I'm going to cut it horizontally like this. So I have 4 parts, and I'm only going to shade in 1 of those parts. So on your desk right now, you should have a model that shows 1/2 and a model that shows 1/4, just like this. Now, I still have the same problem with both of these models, though. I can't add them together because they don't look alike, so they're not the same thing yet. But in order to change that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them into equal parts so that both of the boxes look exactly the same. And what I'm going to do to achieve this is I'm going to take these lines and I'm going to put them going across like that. So now this box almost looks like this one right here, and this one almost looks like this one right here. So I now need to make this box look like this one. So you know how this one was cut in half? I will also cut this one in half. And how this one was cut into 4ths, I will also cut this one into 4ths. So now I have a box that is cut into 8ths, and I have a box that's also cut into 8ths. So I basically made both my boxes look exactly the same. Only part that is different are the fractions that are being shown here. So 1/2, let me do the right equal sign here. 1/2 is now 1, 2, 3, 4 eighths. And the reason why it's 4/8 is because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces in total, or 8 parts in total, out of 4 letters. So I have 4/8. So I'm going to draw my model with 4/8, and then I'll have 4/8 up here. Then I need to add 1/4, but instead of 1/4 looking like this, I now have an equivalent fraction to show that. And this one is 1, 2, 2, 8, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts to that. And now with this fraction, this problem right here, I can now add it. It is the exact same problem that I'm looking at right here. It's just now I have common denominators because both my denominators are the same. So I'm going to add 4 plus 2, which is 6. And then my 8 and my 8 will stay the same because my parts are still the same. So my final fraction is 6/8, but now I need to simplify my answer. So what I will do is I'll take a look at 6 and 8 and I'll think about what is the biggest multiple of both 6 and 8 that I can divide these by. So I can think about, well, I know that 6 can be divided by 1, obviously. Oops, sorry, 6 can be divided by 1. 6 can be divided by 2. 6 can be divided by 3. And it can be divided by 6. And I know that 8 can be divided by 1, 2, and 4, and 8. So those are all the numbers that I can possibly divide 8 by. So what I have to do is I have to choose the biggest number that both of these have in common and divide 6 and 8 by that to get my simplified fraction. So when I look at my set of numbers here, I see that 2 is the biggest number that both of these have in common. So I will be dividing 6 by 2 and 8 by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. And that would be my final answer of 3/4. So I know this is a lot to take in, but we'll get plenty of practice with this. So let's try the next problem together as well. I'm going to erase what I have right here. Just make sure that you're following along with me on every step that we do. Okay, so for my next problem, I have 1/3 plus 1/2. So again, I'm going to show a model for 1/3. So I draw my box. And then I'm going to cut this box into 3 pieces. So 1, 2. And then I'll show 1/3 by shading in one part of my 3, out of my whole. Now I'm going to show you a model of 1/2. And for this one, I'll cut it the opposite direction, so I'll cut it horizontally. And I will shade in 1/2. Now, just like last time, I need this picture to look like this one, and this picture to look like this one. So to do that, I know I cut this fraction in 3 equal parts. So I'll also cut this fraction up like that. And this fraction, I know I cut it in half, so I'll cut this one in half. And no, both fractions shows that I divide it into 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And same for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to write my new fractions up here. So my new fraction right here is 1, 2. I count my shaded part over 6 because that is the total amount of parts for my whole. And then I have my new fraction here, which is equivalent to half, and that's 1, 2, 3 out of 6. So 3, 6. And now I can add this. So when I add this, I do 2 plus 3, which is 5, and then my 6 will stay the same, and my final answer is 5/6. There is this fraction is a simplified fraction. I can't divide it anymore. So I am done here. Go ahead and erase what you have, and we're going to work on the next problem. I want you to try this one on your own, and then you can unpause the video when you are ready to continue. If you have any questions, please make sure you're asking as you're going through the video. So your next problem is going to be 2/3 plus 1/4. Draw models for both of these. Make them have common factors, and then you can add them up. So for 2/3, I will draw a picture that shows 2/3. I have to cut it into 3 pieces. So I have to cut into 3 pieces, and I need to shade in 2 pieces. So I'll shade in my 2 pieces. So it looks like that. So I'm now showing you 2 out of 3. For 1/4, I will again draw my box for my model, and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces. I'll do that horizontally. So I have 4 pieces, and only 1 piece is shaded in. So I'll shade in 1 piece. Now, in order to make these equivalent or make them have the common factor, I need to make sure that both of these boxes look exactly the same. So I know that I cut this box into fourths, So I'll cut this horizontally into fourths. Then I knew I cut this one vertically into thirds, so I'll do the same thing with this picture over here. And now I need to write my new equivalent fraction up here. So I'm going to first count the amount of shaded in pieces for 2/3, my equivalent fraction of 2/3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8, and then I'm going to count up the amount of total pieces for the whole. And if you want to, you can do a little trick to make this a little bit quicker. You could do 1, 2, 3. And then, so I know that's 3 going across and 1, 2, 3, 4 going down. So what's 3 times 4? That's 12. Or you can count them with the hex. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 8, 12 plus 1, 2, 3, 12. And now I just need to add these two numbers up together. So I know they both have a common denominator, so I can now add these. So I add the 8 plus 3, which is 11 over 12. And 11 twelfths is a simplified fraction, so I can stop right there, and that is my final answer. If you got this right, awesome job. If you didn't, that's okay. Just keep practicing along with me, and then make sure you're raising your hand and asking for help if you need that help. So I'll erase this and get your new problem up on the board. So for your next problem, you have 2/5 plus 2/3. So go ahead and make a model for both of these problems and try to make them similar or the same, and then you can try to create your equivalent fractions and add. So for 2/5, I have to make my model for this. So I know I'm going to be cutting this box into 5 equal pieces vertically, so I'll start at the top. 1, 2, 4. So I have my 5 equal pieces, and now I need to shade in 2 of those. So it looks like that. So I'm showing you 2/5 with this model. And now I need to show you 2/3 with the other model. So to show you 2/3 with the other model, horizontally, I will cut it in 2/3. So I have 1, 2, 3 pieces. And then to show you 2/3, I will shade in 2 of my 3 pieces. Show you like that. Now I know that I need both of my pictures to look the same. So since I cut this one into 5ths vertically, I'll also cut this one into 5ths vertically. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And since I cut this one equally by thirds horizontally, I'll also cut this one equally into thirds horizontally. So cut it like that. And now I need to find what my new equivalent fractions are. So I know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces. So I'll put my equal sign. So I know I have 6 pieces out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3. So 5 times 3 is 15, or you can count on the box if you need to. So I have 6/15 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 10/15. Now I am going to run into a problem. So what I'm going to get is I do 6 plus 10, which is 16 over 15. Now your numerator should never be bigger than your denominators because this is called an improper fraction. So I need to then change this. And how I do that is I think about, well, how many times can 15 go into 16? And that is 1 time. And 16 minus 15 would be 1. And I keep my denominator 15. So I have 1 and 1/15. Or you can think about how much extra you have. So that is how we do this problem. This one's a little bit trickier because you have your improper fraction. But if you have any questions, please make sure you're asking along the way. And we're going to work on our very last problem. For this one, we have 2 7 plus 2 thirds. Again, I need to draw a model to show both of these numbers. So I'm showing you my model for 2 7. So for 2 7, I know I need to cut my model into 7 equal pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 2 of these pieces need to be shaded in. So I'm showing you 2 7s with that. Then for 2 thirds, I'll draw a model to show this one horizontally, so across. I'll cut it into thirds, so I have 1, 2, 3 pieces, and 2 of these pieces will be shaded in. Now I need to make both of these have common denominators, so I'm going to cut this model into 7ths vertically, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I cut that one into 7ths, and I cut this one into thirds horizontally, so I'm going to cut this one into thirds horizontally. And this is where using that trick where I just count across and count down and multiply is really going to help so you're not counting all of these boxes. So 2 7 is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. So 7 times 3 is 21. So it's 6/21. Then I need to find the equivalent fraction for 2 thirds over here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I have 14 21st over here. And now I can add because they both have a common denominator of 21. So I do 6 plus 14, which is 20 over 21. And that would be my final answer because I cannot divide any of those numbers by anything else. So that is my final answer. I know this math requires a lot of different steps because you're first drawing your models and then cutting them up and then doing the adding and simplifying if you need to for the problem. So if you need to while you're doing your problem set, go back and look at this video, look at different problems to give you an idea what you need to do for your problem set and your homework set tonight. So your problem set for today is going to be number 1, A through F, and then word problem number 2. I will have the answers up on Google Classroom if you want to check those out. And then for your homework tonight, it's going to be 1, A through F, and then also word problem number 2. Please put your 6th seed book into your backpack, and then you can work on that later on tonight. If you have any questions, please ask. If you want a small group, we can do a small group as well. Good luck today, and great job.